Hello, you guys. Welcome back to Let's Vibe Podcast. In today's episode, I am joined by Britta Bader, who is an old school raver, DJ, mom, and Vibe Tribe member. We talk about how you're never too old to rave and her whole journey through her love of music. So without further ado, let's vibe into today's episode. Happy Tuesday, you guys. Welcome back to Let's Vibe Podcast. I am so excited and happy to have you here. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. I'm really excited to have Britta on here. She's a Vibe Tribe member. She's an amazing woman and just total role model to me. And so I'm excited to share her story with you guys today. But first, don't forget, rate, review, subscribe, all the things. Share this to your story. Share this with a friend. I really appreciate all of the support. Also, if you have not written a review, I would love if you could write a review just to share this podcast with as many people as possible. But yeah, I'm really been loving the podcast and all the guests we've had on lately, and I hope you guys have been enjoying it as well. We'll just dive right on into the vibe check. So if you are new to my podcast, we do a vibe check at the start of every episode, and that's just a chance for me to check in with you guys and for you to check in with yourselves and whatnot. Everything's been going good. You know, the world's been opening back up a little bit. Things are starting to normal out. It's a little crazy. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just get comfortable. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths together. And then I'll ask you guys a couple of questions that you can think about. And I'll just check in with you guys as well. So go ahead and take that first inhale in. And exhale it back out. Second one in. And exhale it back out. Last one in. Hold it. Release in 3, 2, 1. Exhale it back out. I always feel so good after that. So I'll ask the following questions and you can think in your head, journal, whatever feels good. So, how am I feeling today? Do I like this feeling? What could this feeling be trying to teach me? What could make today better, or is there a need to? What are 3 things I'm grateful for today? What could I affirm for myself today, or a goal I can set for myself? Now I'll go ahead and I'll share how I'm feeling, and you can ponder those questions throughout today. So today I'm feeling pretty good. It's a Saturday. I have a lot going on this past week. So I had to catch up on some work today, some content today. I don't know why. It was just such a weird week. I had such a great time with my family in town. My parents were in town and we had such a great time. I felt like I went on vacation because I felt like I was coming back from a vacation. You know what I mean? So I was having to adjust a lot this past week. I was feeling very weird and just kind of off a little bit, but we worked through it. I'm feeling much better today, and I'm also recording with my next guest, which I'm excited about. You guys will get that episode in June. We're doing a little podcast swap, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, everything's been just trucking along. I've been signing up people to my group coaching program. I have 2 groups that are going to happen, which is really exciting. So I'm going to have a total of 16 women in my group coaching program, split up 8 and 8. Really, really excited about that. I don't have them full just yet. I have one of them halfway full, and then the other one is about a quarter of the way full. If you are interested in coaching with me, definitely look into it and reach out to me. Recharge Your Vibe is just all about how to get you feeling unstuck and just ready to tackle your goals so that you can end this year on the strong note, as well as, you know, feel comfortable with things normaling back out and whatnot. So very excited about how that's all been going. I did turn 26 and celebrated my birthday with my family and some friends. So thank you for all the birthday wishes. If you guys did reach out to me, I felt so loved and so special on that day. So it just felt really good to turn 26. Like I finally felt like good about turning an age for some reason. Well, I know for a reason. It's because I'm finally self-employed. I'm doing what I love, and it just feels really good. So it felt really good to kind of come into that age. So yeah, that's just like a little bit of an update. Things are just kind of going along. We're getting ready for a seismic dance event next weekend. So I'm just kind of prepping for that and all that content to come. And whatnot. So 3 things I'm grateful for today. 1, I'm grateful for my life. I'm just so happy with my life and just feel really excited and good about it. Like we went out last night, which was my first time going out in a while. And I was just like feeling myself. I felt good about the person I was like presenting myself as. And like, I don't know, it just felt really good to be out and just like as this kind of like different person compared to going out before the pandemic. I just felt so lost and was just like, drinking to just like kind of, forget about everything. Whereas last night I was drinking to just like truly enjoy it and I could control myself, So I don't know. I'm just grateful for like wins like that and just feeling really good about myself and just where I'm at in life. So number 2, I'm grateful for my parents. It was so, so good to see them. I wish that trip never ended, honestly, but we were just laughing all weekend, having good drinks and food. And I got to take them all around Austin. They loved Austin. And they met Chase and that went really well. So they loved Chase and that was awesome for them to finally meet. And we had a really good weekend, had an amazing time. I can't wait to go back to Arizona and visit in a couple of months or so. We'll see when I can make it back out there. And then finally, grateful for myself, myself, and I am so proud of the work I've been doing and I'm so proud of myself for getting myself here. Last night we were out to dinner with a couple of friends, and these were people that I hadn't met yet that were Chase's friends, and they asked me what I did, and I was like, oh, like this is weird, because before I would say, oh yeah, I'm a digital marketer, I work at a digital marketing agency, and that was the first time I actually got to introduce myself as a life coach, which was like just really crazy and surreal. And I was like, oh yeah, like I haven't said this out loud to people, but yeah, I'm a life coach, and so that was a really cool moment for me. And was really just proud of myself for that. And then the last thing, goal or affirmation. So this is an affirmation my coach gave me this week. And it is, the less I do, the more I attract. And so for me, that is someone that does a lot. This is necessary because sometimes less is more for me. I have put so much work into my brands and sometimes I just don't need to do a whole lot. And I feel like I always need to do a lot. But at the end of the day, when I do take breaks from social media or I do take breaks and stuff, my content and my platform still grows. So I'm just trying to have more compassion for myself when I'm not as consistent as normal is basically what I'm getting at. And so the less I do, the more I attract. And then finally, you guys know I do a song of the week where I share a song that I've been obsessed with. I do have a playlist just for these recommendations, so I'll include it in the show notes. This week, I'm obsessed with Waiting for You by Annabelle Englund and Yodo. This collab is so dreamy, so fire, so good. I'm going to play a little bit of it. So good. So good. Dreamy vocals, everything like that. I love Annabelle Englund. I'm so excited to see her at Seismic Dance event. So that is the song of the week, which wraps up our vibe check. So without further ado, we are going to just dive right into the guest of today. So Britta is actually a Vibe Tribe member of mine. She has been a part of the Vibe Tribe for a while. I always see repeat comments, you guys, and DMs and all those things. And she had put on my end of year survey that she would love to be on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? Why not share other people's voices and just, share their experiences and whatnot on this podcast? And so, like I said in the intro, old school raver from Minneapolis. She's a DJ, mom, has all this advice for new ravers and old ravers and whatnot. And so it was a really great conversation. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear this conversation. So without further ado, let's welcome Britta Bader to Let's Vibe Podcast.
Hello.
How's it going? Hey.
Super happy to have you on. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, so if you wanted to just give a quick introduction about yourself, tell the Vibe Tribe a little bit about yourself, where you live, what you do, and things like that.
Yeah, so my name's Britta. I am 37 years old. I live in a suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota. So Midwest ravers, whoop whoop. So yeah, I've been, I love music so much. It's my passion. I've been listening to music since I was born, really. So That has a lot to do with my life, and we can dive deeper into that in this conversation. But yeah, I
Awesome.
don't know.
So, no, you're good. So, we do a vibe check with my guests on the
Yeah, let's do it.
podcast, and you're a fan of it as well. So, I just
Yep.
wanted to check in. How have you been doing lately?
I've been doing really good. 2020 was, a bumpy road for me as well as a lot of other people too. So, 2021 has got me in a lot better space mentally, physically. So I'm just excited for this year and what's to come. And I've just got myself in a really good headspace. So it's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I feel that same way, honestly. I love 2021 so far.
Yeah.
Compared to 2020. Definitely having some good vibes about this one. So I can agree with that.
Yeah.
What are 3 things you're grateful for?
First and foremost, my family. That comes first. I have a 22-month-old daughter. She just turned 22 months today, actually. So, and my husband, they've been my rock through the last year and a half or more than that. But yeah, they're my rock. First and foremost, I'm grateful for them. And I've been grateful for my tribe, my friends. I started my yoga tribe, I guess. My good friends, they live in Iowa, and my friend Raylene, she's a yoga instructor, and we started during quarantine and everything. We started getting up at 5:30 a.m. and doing yoga almost every morning. It's tough some mornings, but we do it over Zoom and everything. So it's been keeping me
cool.
sane, and yeah, it's been a lifeline, honestly, for me.
Yeah. So. Is it one of your friends that like leads it and you guys all do it together?
Yep. And then if she doesn't feel like doing it, we're subscribed to a yoga instructor named Kat Meffin. She's a world-renowned yoga instructor. She's from the UK. So we subscribe to her monthly yoga subscription. We split it between like 4 of us, and then we do her videos. So
nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And then an affirmation that you're living by or a goal that you're working towards right now?
My affirmation is just I'm learning resilience, a lot of habits, dealing with breaking habits and making habits, I guess. And just being strong, I guess. Just keeping that in my head that I am strong and that I can do this and I can do anything that I put my mind to. So
I love that. That's awesome.
What
are some of those habits that you're working on?
Oh, there's lots of it. Lots of them. I mean, we have habits left and right, but I think a routine is actually a good habit to be in. So that's what I'm trying to maintain. But we all have bad habits here and there that we eating and drinking too much and things like that. So things I got to work on. But
have you felt like you're still working on it, especially being like a new mom?
Yeah. I mean, you're constantly working on stuff. I mean, yeah, it's a journey. So
yeah, totally. So I wanted to talk about how you came to be into dance music, into music and everything. You said that you've loved music since you were little. That's honestly the same for me. So tell me a little bit about your history with music and how it kind of also got into raving and all of that too.
Yeah. So, like way back in the day, I have a sister who's 2.5 years younger than me. So when we were kids, we played all the time together. And it started with, we had this boom box, and I would play cassette tapes on this boom box, and we would record the radio, and there'd be like dance songs that came on and or just regular pop songs, and we'd cut it out during the commercial, and we'd like record our own commercial over the commercial part, and we'd be like, and now, and we'd introduce the next song and stuff like that. So I don't know, that got me into like recording like music, that kind of thing. And then I was in 6th grade, and I don't know if you've ever heard of 2 Unlimited. That might be a little before your time. But yeah, I did a dance solo at the talent show, I did a dance to one of their songs, and that like got me hooked on dance music. I mean, I love dancing first and foremost.
Yeah.
Like me and my sister would make up dances in our driveway, you know, as kids to like Paula Abdul and Janet Jackson. And so that's kind of what got me into the dancey part of music, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
And so when did you go to like your first event?
well, my first concert ever was Alanis Morissette.
Oh, wow.
Jagged Little Pill concert. So
Wow.
I'm aging myself now, but
that's awesome.
dance music wise, I went to my first rave when I was 16. So I was in high school. They had 16 plus events when I was in high school. They had a club called Tropics that was it had 18 plus side and then a 16 plus side. And so obviously you can't cross over and stuff.
Yeah.
There was alcohol and stuff on the 18 plus side. But so that was like my first club experience when I was 16. You know?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And was this in Minneapolis?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So then I went to more underground parties back then too. I mean, that's all we had, go to a checkpoint at the coffee shop and, get a flyer and, handing out flyers. I have a stack of flyers, like, from back in the day. I just held on to them. They're keepsakes. So,
oh, wow.
It's so awesome.
That's like me. I've held on to stuff too.
Yeah. I need to make a shrine. Actually, when I lived with my parents, I had on my walls, like my room when I lived when I lived in high school, my room was so raved out. It was like everywhere. I had my flyers all over the wall, and I put my tickets up and everything. I had shrines of like all the events I went to and stuff. So
yeah. What type of like genre was big when you were going out? Like what type of subgenre of EDM was big when you were first getting into it?
I guess it depends. It was very niche, like whatever you were a part of. Like when I first started raving, I was into like happy hardcore for like 6 months. For like 6 months, I was a candy kid. So, that's just I don't like that. I don't like hardcore. It's too hard.
Yeah.
For me. But I got really deep into progressive house, like early, like Sasha, Digweed, like like the tracks would be like 10, 11 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
Like they're a whole journey, what I mean? It wasn't about the fast poppy 3
getting to
song.
The drop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting to the drop and being done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there I got to really learn how to listen to music, like actually feel it out and know the structure of the track and feel the journey, So yeah, I got to really know good music at an early age just because I knew how to listen to it. Not everybody can really listen to the music, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah.
Do you still have a lot of your candy from back in the day?
I have some. Yeah, not a lot. I don't wear it. I mean, I kept some just to keep it like a keepsake of it.
Yeah.
But I had like pacifier necklaces and all that jazz, but well, I probably kept it just to have it because it's something to look back on. I'm going to show my daughter someday.
Yeah. So looking back to then compared to now, how would you say raving and like the EDM scene has changed from then to now?
Man, I mean, it's definitely changed a lot. But music has changed. But the one thing that really hasn't, the genres that haven't really changed are techno and house. I mean, those, they're sustainable throughout life. I mean, there's subgenres that go off of those, but like the real techno and house, it really hasn't changed much. It's like there's some tracks that I listened to from the early 2000s that were way ahead of their time. Like you're like, wow, like this is sounds and everything. It's pretty crazy. It wasn't trendy. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm not about the trendy.
Yeah. So, how have the events changed?
Yeah, I mean, there's no raves anymore. I mean, people call them raves, but they're not what we think are raves, underground, like dark warehouse parties and stuff like that. You know, people go to a club and call it a rave, and I'm like, no, it's a
Everyone
show
calls
or a
everything a
party.
rave.
I know, I know. But yeah, no, the real raves are those underground late night parties, and
Yeah.
that's something that, you know, the Minneapolis scene has held on to pretty well.
Really?
Yeah, we have a huge underground scene here.
Wow.
We have a couple, you know, creators of it, I guess. Devious One is one of them. He's a renowned techno DJ now. He lives in Berlin. He's from
Wow.
Minneapolis, and he kind of helped curate the scene here. And now he's off doing his own thing, and he's selling records and having gigs. It's awesome. So
Yeah.
but there's an older crew here, like they're in their mid 40s, you know, that kind of started everything. They're like the rave dads and of the group. They're promoting shows here for 20 years, you know, and they're still doing
Wow.
it. And they're the ones that are, you know, finding those dark warehouses and throwing, you know, surprise pop-up events that go from they start at midnight and they go till 6 in the morning. I mean,
Wow.
so it's something special. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
So,
Have those been happening still with COVID, or
no,
has there been like a pause and stuff?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, my good friend Mike, he lost his space because of that. I mean, he'd have to pay rent, you know, and the whole
Yeah.
time when no events are happening. So, but Zach Devious One, he has this special place here called Future Classic, and it's an underground space that I'm not going to tell much more about because it's a sacred space, you know.
Yeah.
It's something magical that we have here, and he still owns the space even though he doesn't live here, but he brings this show he probably like 5 times a year, maybe 4, I don't know, but it's a special curated event, you know, techno event. Goes from 12 to 6, you know. He had Dan
Yeah.
Canaglia play a couple years ago.
Wow.
Jeff Mills, some heavy hitter, you know, artists. And it's just something sacred that we have in this small town that like people are jealous of. So
Yeah.
it's a magical city to live in. Although, I mean, we're kind of a flyover city if you think about it. Some people
Yeah.
call us that. Like, what's in
Oh,
Minneapolis?
yeah. I had no idea when we were first connecting about it. I was like, oh, like I would be curious to know about that because I obviously from Arizona and we have our scene there that I would say has gotten a lot bigger probably since 2010. It definitely has gotten a lot bigger. And I got into the scene around like 2015, but it definitely has more, it's more newer in comparison to some other cities and scenes probably, right? Because I mean, you were saying that Minneapolis is at least 20 years, if not more, right? Since some of those guys started it.
Yeah, but I mean, there's still, you know, now there's the younger crowd that like somebody needs to pass the torch down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the leaders are kind of like the teachers for the young folks that are trying to get in and do it too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a huge house scene, like, you know, EDM scene too. But I mean, of course, it's like it's kind of segregated in those areas. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there like just as big of like a EDM scene compared to the underground scene?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, even more. I mean, there's this venue here called the Armory, and
Okay.
I think it's like a 7,000 person capacity. I mean, they have all the heavy hitter big names there. So,
got it.
But then after those shows, those people hear about this little after party, and then
they head on over.
Yeah, I think Steve Aoki played there once, and some people showed up at this after hours and they had their like glowy lights and stuff. And I had a friend that went over and was like, you can't do that here. Just because it's dark. I mean, all we want is the sound, you know, and that's a big thing about Minneapolis too, is they really, you know, go hard on their sound system.
It's all about like, the music.
It's in the sound. Like what's music if you don't have a good sound system? That like
true.
You know, so yeah, there's like walls of bass and everything. It's massive. So
before COVID, how frequently were you going out to some of these shows?
Well, before COVID, I had a baby, like a newer baby. So I mean, I was still going, but not as often. Um, and I even went out to some shows when I was pregnant with her. So,
How was
but
that experience?
it was fine. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I had to back away though, but there was this one show they did with a wall of speakers, and somebody posted on Facebook the picture of it, and they're like, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to skip out on this one tonight. Like,
Yeah.
it's not good for the baby for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that bad, like with the resignation of the bass or whatever for the baby. It's actually
Mhm.
calming for them, I hear, but
Oh.
so, but if you're right up in the speaker, and yeah, it's bad. So
Yeah. Have you been playing like house and techno for her?
yeah, oh yeah,
Love it. You're
yeah, yeah. My
getting
husband
her
and
educated on all of
I, oh
it.
yeah, definitely in the womb, and we taught her young. Like, she doesn't wake. We bang it in the basement loud, and she doesn't wake up for shit.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so my husband and I are a DJ duo actually.
Okay.
So we go as the Baders.
Oh,
Um,
love that.
but I play separately too, and so does he. So, but he's been DJing longer than me, probably like 15 years, something
Wow.
like that. And I started about 9 years ago DJing.
Okay.
Pretty much when I met him and moved in with him, because he had all the equipment. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, how did that come to be when you wanted to start learning how to DJ?
yeah, I mean, the thing is people, when I finally started DJing, everyone was like, it's about time, like I've always thought of myself as like a good curator. Like, I know my music,
Mhm.
like,
Yeah.
and so people are like, well, why don't you just DJ? I'm like, yeah, I had stage fright really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I like being behind the scenes. I mean, I thought it would be a cool job just to like curate the track list for somebody, just tell them what to
Yeah.
play and they can play it. But that doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I ended up just DJing myself, and now I just love it. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
How many like live shows have you done?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really count.
Yeah, a lot.
Probably should. Yeah. I mean, I just do local Midwest shows, basically.
Okay.
I'm not like some hotshot touring DJ or anything.
Yeah.
Nor do I really want to be. It's
You
a
just love
passion,
doing it.
it's a
Yeah.
hobby. Yeah, that life's not for me. I'm past that. Like,
Yeah.
if I would have started when I was like younger and single and yeah, didn't have a family, you know what I mean? It would have been
Yeah.
totally different. But
Yeah.
now it's just a fun little hobby. I get booked for local gigs here and there, and I enjoy playing in front of people and Twitch, and
Yeah. What
so
type of music do you typically enjoy playing the most?
it's, I would call it's like deep tech,
Okay.
melodic house and techno,
Okay.
just rolling bass lines, and just
Yeah.
melodies, just that stuff that makes your your arm hair stand up. I don't know.
Yeah. For those
And
that
that
don't
deep bass.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, for those that don't know, who are some artists that would kind of fall under that?
Number one artist, which is weird because for a long time it's like I can't just say one. Like, who's your
Yeah.
favorite artist? I was like, for a long time I was like, I can't. There's too many.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, I nailed it down. And my favorite artist is Maceo Plex.
Ooh,
Yeah, I mean,
so good.
he's melted my mind many a times. Like, just like I walk out of there and I'm just like, I feel like I meditated for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's my number one, Maceo Plex. Check him out if you haven't.
Yeah.
Um, and a couple other ones. I mean, there's a lot of smaller artists, but Audio Jack is another one. Aid, you would actually like them a lot.
I
House
think,
artists.
yeah, I think I've actually seen them live. I'm
Really?
pretty sure. Yeah, so they actually we have I used to talk about them a lot, Vibe Vessel. If you
Okay.
ever saw me promote Vibe Vessel shows but here in Austin, they were like a
Sure.
collective group. They're still doing shows. I'm not affiliated with them anymore, but
Okay.
they brought Audio Jack, I'm pretty sure March 2019, and I really enjoyed their set. I'm pretty sure that was them. They had
Mm-hmm.
and I checked them out before. They had a remix of a song that I really liked. I'll have to send it to you afterwards, but I'm pretty sure I saw them live and it was really good. I really enjoyed their set.
Yeah. I highly recommend them. And they actually have an album. I'm shamelessly promoting them because I
Yeah.
love them so much. But they do have an album
Yeah.
dropping on Friday. So,
Oh,
um,
nice.
but they're actually ones to like not promote their album on like Beatport and things like
Okay.
that. They sell it on Bandcamp,
Got
which
it.
like they have Bandcamp Fridays
Mhm.
where all the proceeds to the music goes directly to the artist. So you're
Oh,
skipping
wow.
that middleman, like Beatport takes a cut, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
Bandcamp is an awesome.
I think I've seen Lane 8 promote on Bandcamp. Where do you get your music for DJing?
Yeah, I say Beatport and
Beatport.
Track Source is another one. They got a lot
Okay.
of good house music on there. Pretty much Bandcamp too. So
Yeah. Nice. So, I wanted to ask a little bit about music festivals because we've talked about like the scene
right.
in Minneapolis. We've talked about raving in general.
Mm-hmm.
What have been some of your favorite music festival experiences you've been to?
My number one home. I have a home festival. Everybody has a home festival, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine is Movement, Detroit.
Oh, yes. I want to
I
go
went.
so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah. It's a city fest. I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way. I guess. It's just
Yeah.
seeing that view of Canada over the water and like it's beautiful weather, beautiful people. It's amazing.
Yeah. How many times have you been?
10
Wow.
in a
That's
row.
awesome. In a
I
row?
went, I went 2007 was my first year. And then I went to 2017. And then my husband and I were like, oh, let's take a break. We went 10 years hard, let's
Yeah.
take a break a year. So we took a break. And then I ended up getting pregnant the next year. So we had to take another break because of the baby. That was
Yeah.
2019. And then 2020 happened and we couldn't go.
Yeah.
So looking forward to it.
Yeah. How
And
long have you
then
and your partner been together?
my husband's name is Shane. We met in Detroit. So that's probably why it's special to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we met in 2007 in Detroit. He's from Iowa, actually,
Okay.
and I'm from Minnesota. And a good friend of mine, Rhiannon, she introduced us because she moved up to Minnesota from Iowa. They went to college together.
Okay.
And she moved up to Minnesota, didn't really know anybody when she moved up here. And then she like kind of met our group of friends and we became best friends. And we went to movement together and she introduced me to all these Iowa people. Iowa has an amazing scene too, believe it or not.
Wow. Believe it or not.
Yeah, they have amazing people, amazing techno house down there too. So, but yeah, she introduced us and rest is history, I guess. I was actually dating somebody else for 5 years during that time
Wow.
too. And my boyfriend at the time wouldn't dare go to movement. Like it wasn't his thing. That's why we're not together.
How has it been going on this whole journey through like going to music festivals and being in love with music while also sharing that with your husband?
Oh, it's beautiful. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish somebody can find that. I wish everybody can find that because
Yeah.
like to be a part of this culture, to be a part of this. I mean, I saw it firsthand, with my ex, like it seems so trivial, but like for him not to be into this music, into this culture, like it just wouldn't work out. Like,
Yeah.
I need somebody to feel that vibe with me, because it is a passion of mine and it's my life and it's not something that, I take lightly. It's not like,
Yeah.
I'm going to just stop. It's not a phase, if you will. So,
yeah, I think it varies like dependent on the couple, right? Because there are people that can make it work and be the person's respectful of the person's passion, but then when it's not
like
gonna
Emma,
work, yeah, exactly, like Emma.
That
but
works.
when it's not gonna work is when that person isn't respectful and it's kind of like, oh, like that's dumb. You like that, like.
Yeah.
No, that's when
like
it's not
you go have
work.
fun. I'm not gonna call you for 3 days and trust that you're okay. Like, okay.
Yeah, like, but that's so awesome. And so, what has been one of your favorite memories with your husband at a festival?
The one where he proposed in 2012.
Oh, I love that. Tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Oh God. I mean, it's kind of, I'll keep short, but
Yeah.
I actually brought my sister to the festival a couple years in a row too, kind of, which is awesome, by the way, to introduce my
Yeah.
sister to that and
Oh,
just
that's so great.
see her jaw drop like magic, like wow.
Yeah.
So she was there that year, and we all were in a hotel, and it was day 3. Okay, day 3. And we all know what day 3 is like.
You know the vibes.
So I was like taking a break. Shane and I were getting day 3. Everybody gets a little irritable with each other. You know, at some point, you're on barely any sleep. You know, you're just like So
yeah.
we were getting to that point, and so my sister was kind of mediating, and so I went outside to take a breath of fresh air, and then basically they were coordinating something while I was down there. And he basically asked my sister for his blessing in proposing, and she's like, oh, that's awesome. And she's like a spiritual crystal kind of person, so she put a blessing on the ring and kind of did a thing.
Yeah,
and it was so sweet. And so then I was like, I just want to go, let's go to the festival. So my sister and I walked down there together. Or no, my sister stayed behind, sorry. And Shane and I walked down to there together. And we got through security. He had me go first. And I went through security, and like we had our sets mapped out. Like I'm like, Heidi was playing over here, I think. And then so I wanted to go directly to see her.
Yeah.
I got in, and then I was like, oh crap, I have to go to the bathroom. Let's get some water and stuff like that. So
get situated.
Yeah. So basically we did that, and I was like on my way to go see Heidi one way, and he veered me off into the other direction. I'm like, where are we going? He's like, let's go sit in the grass over here. You know, there's a big grassy area over by one of the stages that overlooks the water. And it's where you go to chill out. You know, people are doing spinny stuff. Poi and whatnot. But and you just go chill out and look over the water, you know, listen to music and vibe out. And so basically, he sat me in some dirt and proposed to me right there overlooking the water. It was just us. And I just started bawling. And I was like, oh, great. Now I got to go out there in front of people. And my eyes are puffy. And
so he had the ring and everything with you?
Yeah. So funny story was after the fact, he told me the story of how he got through security, and he had the ring in his pocket, and, you know, they search you. And the woman was like, what's this? And he's like, I'm about to propose to my girlfriend. You know, he was trying to like keep it chill. I was right about, he's like, I'm trying to propose. And she's like, she looked around. She's like, here?
That's so
like,
funny.
You're going to do it here? Why? You know?
Oh my gosh. I didn't even think about that. I would honestly be worried about losing the ring like at the festival or something.
Yeah, I was too, because it didn't fit. I mean, I had to get it sized and stuff. So but I ran around and he went back to the hotel right after and like chugged some Fireball, and then like talked to his mom on the phone for a little bit, and he told his parents right away. And then I ran around the festival looking for my best friend and like looking for all my friends. Just bawling out of control. Like, So
did other people witness it around you guys too?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was just you two?
Yeah. But it was so cool because there's like somebody eating a sandwich over here, and there's someone doing, you know, everybody's
just a festival. Exactly.
But everybody's in their little pods and they're doing their own thing. And then it was just us, you know, nobody was paying attention to what we were doing. That's magic. That's what it was. Mm-hmm.
That's an amazing story. I love that. That's so special. And like to have that as like a memory forever.
Well, in that same spot, I think a couple years prior to that, you know, it was Adam Bear was playing a closing set, and I think I was tripping on mushrooms or something like that. I went and like I grabbed his hand and I just brought him to the rave yard. We call it the rave yard. And I brought him over there and just started making out with him. So that's where we had our first kiss.
Oh, wow.
While Adam Bayer was playing a closing set, and it was like
full
fireworks.
circle moment.
Yeah. So that
Full
place
circle
has
moment.
it's a special, every year there's some magic happen there. So
Yeah, I
that's
want
why
to
you
go
keep
so
going back.
bad. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to go to Movement so bad. I hope next year I can make it happen.
Yeah.
It's always hard Memorial Day weekend. There's always just so
I
many
know.
places and things to choose from. So I know one year I want to do Lightning in a Bottle, which is Memorial Day weekend, and then another
Yep.
weekend. Another year I'm gonna have to do Movement. So we'll see which one comes first.
Yeah, and it's so easy to stick with the same one every year,
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen Movement kind of transform and change since you first went to it too, since you've gone
Yeah.
for 10 years?
Yeah. Well, even before I went, I mean, it used to be free. Like it was a free street fest kind of
Oh,
thing.
wow. I didn't know that.
And when I went in 2007, the tickets were only $40 for a
Wow.
3-day fest for a 3-day.
Wow.
So,
Now it's like 300 for a weekend.
that's VIP. Actually,
Okay, that's VIP.
Yeah, I think I paid a little over 500 for 2 VIP tickets. So
Okay. So it's a little bit under that. That's not
yeah,
bad.
it's actually pretty cheap compared to like Ultra or any of those festivals.
Yeah.
Like EDC. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And that's another reason why we
awesome.
keep going too. And it's a quick plane right away. So I recommend it, definitely.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention, for those that don't know Movement, you guys, it's typically Memorial Day weekend, right? And it's in Detroit, which is the birthplace of techno. Super amazing festival. Definitely on my bucket list to check out. So I know you also mentioned that you guys threw a festival themed wedding. How was that? What was that? What was that whole experience?
Well, the themes were basically like the tables were themed to each, like a different festival that we've been to together. Well, not just festivals, but events too.
Yeah.
Because we really haven't been to that many different festivals together, but
yeah,
we had to throw in some events and stuff there too. But yeah, there was like a Lollapalooza table, a movement table, So
for that, did you have like different like logos and stuff on the table, or how did that work?
Yeah. I mean, I had a theme. So I actually had my friend who's a graphic designer create the whole theme. So the actual tickets themselves, or the invites were actually, they were tickets. Like they literally look like tickets. So I sent them in the mail, and to RSVP, you tear off the ticket stub and return it back to me.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So they actually, and then like they were rave flyers for the invites too. So now presenting, Britta and Shane, the headliners.
Yeah.
So
oh my gosh, I would totally imagine like for my wedding, there's gonna be festival wristbands or something.
Yep.
Totally gonna make something like that.
We DJ'd too. We did. I hired a friend to do all like the popular stuff,
Got it.
And then 10 p.m. hits, and we're off to the races. We had a good sound system in there, a bunch of friends playing and dancing.
You had your own set?
Yeah. Well, Shane and I DJ'd together.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I know. I was seeing, do you know Lee Foss?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he just had a wedding in Mexico, and I was seeing, John Summit and MK, Annabelle Unglund like sang at the reception, and I was like, that's so cool. Like a DJ wedding, like that's so that seems so dope to me. Even like when I get married, I'm like, I'm gonna have my own DJ set, like at least part of it.
Well, even that too, I had a really good, I curated pretty much the whole night, like 90s music, like that's my jam. I mean, I grew up in the 90s, so I'm like, so I played pretty much, or I curated every song that was played that night, from the song that I walked down to the aisle to, which was a Tycho song. Yeah, and then our Caribou, I can't do without you. I can't do without you. So
I love it.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's so amazing. So I wanted to talk about, as festivals and shows are slowly starting to open up and starting to come back and stuff. How are you feeling kind of seeing things slowly start to come back? Are things normal in Minneapolis, or is it still kind of slow to open right now?
Oh man. Well, as you know, Minneapolis has been going through a lot of crazy times.
Yeah, totally.
So our city is, it's getting somewhat normal. Buildings were boarded up last week
Gotcha.
with the trial and everything. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody knows about that. So,
Yeah.
our city's been going through turmoil, and honestly, we're just waiting for events to pick back up because I think music is what's gonna to get us out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Music hears everything. You know what I mean? That's why
Yeah.
people go out and go all night dancing, is because they want to let loose and forget about their long work week or any drama that they have going on at home or in their lives. Because going out and hearing music and socializing it's a cure all for
Yeah.
anything. I
Yeah,
mean,
totally. I agree with that.
so I feel like all these hard times, music is going to be the answer.
Yeah.
Music is the answer
Yeah.
to your problems.
Yeah, totally.
So
So looking
yeah.
ahead, how do you feel kind of coming into festivals and stuff opening up at Raving as a parent, also being a part of like older raver generation? How do you kind of feel going back to some of these events?
Well, it's going to be different. I mean, people, it's going to be that year apart, kind of spread people apart too. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be
Yeah.
weird getting back into it, I feel. But I had my first gig actually in Memorial Day weekend. So
Oh,
my first gig
fun.
back. I'm excited about that. So yeah, I'm just excited to get out there and play this summer. There's going to be a lot of
Yeah.
outdoor events and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's interesting to see just being segregated from people, like kind of it tore us apart a little bit, if you will.
Yeah.
We got to build
Yeah.
our community back up. With all the stuff going on, people are being rude to one another on social media. Just it's causing turmoil in our scene.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I think bringing events back and all that is going to bring everybody together again and smile again. So
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Being back, I went to UBW this past weekend, and while
yeah,
wasn't perfect by any means, it was crazy just to be back in that, and it was so
mhm,
surreal. But I will
yeah,
say, like, it was just nice to see people smiling and just
mhm,
laughing and just enjoying themselves, even though, there was that fear of like not everyone was wearing masks. I talked about it, and
yeah,
it is what it is, but it was just really nice. And I almost had a moment of just like looking at everyone of like everyone just went through what they went through this past year. And it's just
mhm,
nice that we all got to disconnect, and I can't wait for other people to have that. And we can finally get back to, the things that we love doing and seeing live music and like just feeling that energy again. I just can't wait for other people to feel that.
yeah. Oh my gosh, we're all waiting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to any festivals this year.
Okay.
I kind of booked some. Well, movement's not happening, so
Yeah.
and they were talking about moving it to the fall. But honestly, to move a lineup like that and to all those logistics, like
Yeah.
let's just wait till next year.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah. That's
So
how I felt about Electric Forest getting moved. I was like, thank you. Let's move it.
yeah,
There's just so
hmm
many logistics to it. Like that was one festival because that's my favorite
yeah,
festival, like my home festival. And I was like, I would rather have it next year than try and force it this year.
yeah. And you want to have that full experience, full rave on experience, and not have to hide anything or put anything back. Not wear a mask, hopefully,
Yeah.
and not have to go through any like testing things or anything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm gonna go
Um,
full send though. 2022. Here we go.
Here we go. Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Looking forward to that.
I'm gonna do a lot of like local shows and stuff this summer and stuff,
Yeah.
but and a lot of family stuff. So,
Nice.
but yeah, I'll save
So
myself.
I wanted to ask you two questions. So the first one is, what is some advice you have for some of the newer people to the scene, whether they're, getting into EDM or they're getting into raves or getting into music festivals? What's one piece of advice you would have for them?
Oh man, get out there. Like be open minded. I would say, explore. Listen to your elders, and let them show you the way, I guess. I mean, musical tastes are like learned and they'll come over time. Because like what people listen to when they're younger, it's definitely it evolves over time.
Yeah.
But it takes a trained ear, I think. So, really, really listen to the music. If you love it that much, just sit there and actually listen to it. Don't just get fucked up and be like, "Ooh, I just love dancing to this stuff." Just sit there with some good headphones on and really listen to it. Because I mean, it'll change your life for sure.
Yeah, I love that. You guys don't know this, but like Britta would comment on some of my videos and give me recommendations, and I would always listen to them and dive in.
I got more, but I don't have that much
know
time.
She does. I know.
I'm like,
I know. Anytime she comments, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go look this up, and so I would always go look it up. And so when you said listen to your elders, I'm like, yep, because they know their stuff, and so. I definitely
don't be stuck on one thing. I mean,
exactly. Be open-minded. I feel like my evolution has changed so much between like the music I started out with liking and then what I like now, but I still love and respect all of it too.
Yeah.
And that's also why like you'll see me at like house and techno festivals, but you will probably never see me at a dubstep bass festival. Because I respect it and I love it, but I need other genres in that sense. But like, I will still go see like a dubstep set at a festival if it's someone that I've heard is really good and I appreciate the music. You know what I mean? So it's definitely important to have that open mind and also realize like your music taste can be different from someone else's, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, that their music taste is bad or that yours is bad. So
and it's important to keep your opinions to yourself too. If you don't like something, then that's fine, but you don't have to say it. Like I have one example at Movement. Joris Vorn was closing out the Beatport stage. And it was like from beginning to end, it was a magical story. Like I had tears in my me and my friends, we were bawling, it was just like my sister was there and it was like the closing set and it was just like of the weekend too, the closing set of the weekend. And so but a friend of mine like came from the techno stage, like the dark industrial techno stage. And he said, oh, I went over there and listened to Joris for a little bit. It sounded like trance to me. Like I didn't like, what was that shit, And he basically walked in. It's like walking into the middle of a movie and trying to figure out what's going on.
Trying to catch up.
You can't walk into the middle of a set and then just be like, oh, I could get into, you know what I mean? Like, if you're there from beginning to end, you're gonna understand. Like, it's
you got to give it a fair shot, basically.
Yeah, that's why stage hopping is like it's hard.
Totally.
You need to feel the whole thing. So
I agree with that. And so the second question I had, which is like kind of the last question I wanted to add, was for someone that is getting older and is going into getting into the older side of raving and is seeing this community kind of grow and also feeling a little like it's not the same or some like having those feelings that they might be getting too old for it. What's some advice that you would have for those people in those types of positions, being an older raver in the community?
Oh man, there's some people that fall off, they go out and have families and it was kind of like a phase for them, it was kind of like what they did in college and, they grew out of it and that happens. But the real lovers of the music, this is your life. You're staying in it forever. So, I mean, you're never too old. Your taste will change. Like, I feel like I'm too old to go to those dubstep EDM things, I know, and there's 16 plus shows I probably won't ever be at. That's just even 18 plus shows. I'm like, this is, people have X's on their hands. I feel super old, but I mean, that's good for them. But I know where my place is. I'm gonna go hang out with people my age, I guess. But I don't know. We welcome the younger crowd because we want them to they're going to be in our shoes someday. We need to pass the torch, if you will. So I love teaching. I love showing them the way. So I guess ask an elder raver to take you under their wing, seriously.
I think that's important I think that's important to kind of, show that to older ravers that you might not like the current scene that's coming in, but you also have the power to show them the way and not necessarily bash them for, you know, not knowing or being too young or whatever, you know. I think it can definitely be something where we're all in this together, you know. At the end of the day, we all love music. We all want to share music and enjoy these events together. And so I think it's definitely, it goes hand in hand. Like when I went to Lollapalooza, and I had some hesitations in going to Lollapalooza because of the image it has, and also just it's a lot younger crowd. But I knew my place. I stood in the back and I hung out in the back. And while everyone was super young, I was like, they're having a good time as long as they're not hurting anyone and they're not being rude. Like it doesn't really bother me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And as long as they're taking care of themselves, like a lot of people, I would know, I know if I was closer in the crowd, I would be the one being like, do you need water? Are you guys good? Like checking in, you know what I mean? And if you feel like you're getting annoyed by the younger crowd, then maybe you just need to hang out further towards the back, or maybe you just need to be that voice of reason for them to be like, hey, do you guys need water? Or is everyone good? Like that kind of thing. So I definitely like that approach of like, we're all in this together and we can collaborate to kind of continue to make this scene what it should be and teach the younger generation, and also allow the older generation to be able to help us, you know.
It's all about inclusivity, you know. We all are welcome here, you know. That's what we're doing this for.
I love that. So, well, it was super great to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for coming on. We do have rapid fire, which I didn't tell you about because I don't like telling the guests about it to put them a little bit on their feet. But I know you already mentioned your favorite festival is Movement. So then I'm going to give you top 5 favorite EDM artists.
5? Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay. Macioplex was number 1. I said Audio Jack is another one. I love Township Rebellion. If you haven't heard of them, look them up as well. They were supposed to play at E-Forest last year.
Yeah.
And I was recommending them to you.
Yep, you were.
Township Rebellion is a really good one. Hidden Empire is another good one. It's who else? I have way too many. I can't.
Just
I love it all. I love it all. Sasha, Digweed. I love them all.
There you go. Okay. Favorite, since you're coming from Minneapolis and representing that area there, favorite venue in Minneapolis?
Future Classic Space.
Ooh, okay.
The underground.
Yeah, the underground. And then there was one more. Oh, your go-to festival item that you always have to bring.
My fanny pack or something to hold my shit.
Hold all the stuff.
Okay, I usually a fanny pack because I don't like anything around my
Got it. And then your top 3 favorite EDM subgenres.
Deep tech, melodic house and techno, and organic house.
What's organic house?
It's like I would say like that blondish stuff, like that tribally like stuff you would hear in Tulum.
Yeah. Okay.
Anything Damian Lazarus.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Definitely we'll dive into that a little bit more. So, well, thank you again for coming on. Feel free to tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, so my Instagram is BritterBader. We'll have you link it down below.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'll link it all.
I'm on Twitch. It's the Baders. You can find us there. I usually play. My husband will pop on every once in a while with me, but he doesn't like to be recorded. So I like to play. So if you want to come in and chat with me, that'd be awesome.
When do you typically play?
I usually do Sundays. I'm trying to work out like a more consistent schedule right now, but usually I'll just pop on when I feel like it. But it's been pretty much every Sunday.
Nice.
So, but yeah, I'm on Facebook, but I hate Facebook. And do
you have anything on SoundCloud?
I do. Yeah. So I have, we can link all my stuff. I'll give that to you. I'm on SoundCloud, Mixcloud, all of that jazz. So
sweet. Awesome. Well, like I said, thanks again for tuning in. Vibe Tribe, sit tight, and we will be right back. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Britta for joining us today on Let's Vibe Podcast. You guys can check her out. I'll leave everything in the show notes and descriptions for you guys to check her out. Go show her some love as a fellow Vibe Tribe member. If you are also a Vibe Tribe member that would like to be on the podcast, let me know. Hit me up at my email, vibewith8@gmail.com. We'll maybe make this like a little series where every now and then I have someone on the podcast to share their story and experiences and everything like that. So stay tuned for that. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all the things. Thank you so much for tuning in and vibing with me today. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay vibey, Vibe Tribe. Bye.